Awesome. Now, while we're live, people can hear us. So this is pretty cool. But for some reason, there's no music in this countdown. So we'll have to get a new version with the music, which will make it cooler. And I won't have to just talk and say, just fill in the gap here of the time. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tech Talk. As we're getting people to join in with us here live, say hi. Tell us, good to see the same faces, new faces. If you're new to our shows, this is StreamYard's Tech Talk. And we're going to be talking with a great guest today, Jim Fuhs. We'll introduce him in just a minute or so. Love to have you join us in. So we're going to want to have you join the conversation with us. That's the biggest key here. So here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Tech Talk. I'm Daniel Glickman from StreamYard, and we've got a bunch of people with us today joining in, and the numbers are going up. So say hi in the chat. We want to make this a conversation. Today's show is all about how we use tech in our live shows to create live shows. StreamYard is the easiest way to do it. You don't need anything but StreamYard and the simplest laptop to go live. Some of us take it a bit further than that and go the extra mile, and that's what this show is all about, doing a bit more than your minimum live shows. So we look at best practices, we look at how to get there, and today we have a really exciting day, a really exciting topic, which is going live on Amazon. Amazon Live is exploding, and our guest today, Jim Fuhs, has a show on Amazon. He's got tens of thousands of viewers in Amazon Live. And I tell you, you can do it too, because Jim is a down-to-earth guy. He's just a guy that does live shows like you. He's a producer. He's a podcaster. He's a creator, really. And he's part of our producer network. So I'm going to bring him in right after the intro, and we'll get to hear how he got live on Amazon. He's going to share it with you, and hopefully you'll have another destination to broadcast to right after this intro. See you in just a minute. Hi, Jim.
Hey, how's it going? Good to see you.
Good to see you again, too. So, Jim, I was telling everybody that I'm really excited to have you because you're killing it on Amazon Live. But before we get into your Amazon Live show, maybe just tell us a bit about yourself and what you do. What's the deal with you?
Yeah, so as I like to say, working with my friend Angus Nelson, I'm a retired Marine, Lieutenant Colonel. So I do marketing the Marine Corps way, and part of that is really, everything has to get into systems, and especially when you're getting into live streaming, you really got to have a process, just like you guys have a process for this show. And so I've been doing digital marketing consulting for a few years now, but since things happened last year, really got even more focused into not only live streaming, with the Tim and Jim show, but then also helping people produce their own live shows and even getting into virtual events, because there's definitely a big need for that. And one of the great things has been that I've been doing this journey using StreamYard. I mean, StreamYard has been great for that. It's funny, now that StreamYard has been acquired by Hopin, well, that's just happened to be the platform that I've been using for virtual events with StreamYard for the live stage. So it's really been great to see that. And then what started as something that was, for fun, but it's really, well, and it's still a lot of fun, Amazon Live with Dealcasters Live, is we use StreamYard even to produce our shows there. So StreamYard is just a very versatile tool. I love what you guys continue to do to make it, keeping in the three themes of ease of use, stream stability, professional looking streams across multiple platforms.
Thanks for that pitch. It's awesome. So a couple of shout outs here to, first of all, to Hopin, our sister product, which is an event platform. So if you're looking to broadcast out to the world, you want to use StreamYard. If you want to broadcast into an enclosed environment where you can monetize or bring the audience into that environment and kind of gate them in there, then you want to use Hopin. And the two products work seamlessly and beautifully together. So shout out to Hopin. Check it out at hopin.com if you're interested. Also, shout out to our today's producer, Joanne Watt from our team, who is behind the scenes today, but you might get to see her next week. She's her first time helping produce a show. So excited about that. And she's doing all the comments management and all the fancy stuff that you're seeing there. So say hi to Joanne, and you'll get to meet her maybe in person next week. I see a lot of familiar names, and Neil and Letitia and Marissa. Hi to everybody there. And so a couple of housekeeping notes. If you want to ask questions, use the hashtag ask, right? That way, Joanne will find it easier to just locate your question in the stream and knows that you're not asking your friend in the chat about something, or you're not responding to somebody in the chat. So it'll just be easier to grab it. And if you use the hashtag love StreamYard, you might get to win a coffee mug. We like to hand out coffee mugs at the end of our show. So StreamYard coffee mug for people who participate. Nice plug-in. Yes, it's oversized, it's beautiful, and as you can see, it's got real coffee in it, not yours, mine. So let's get to it. We like to one more last thing. I almost forgot. If you want to join us live in the studio, right? You can join us live, ask your question live, or tell your story. If you're doing Amazon Live, we would love to have you here live with us and share your experience. So here you go. Join us live in the studio. Just use this bit.ly link, bit.ly/theyard. It's case sensitive, so just pay attention to that. And you'll enter the backstage, and we'll just put you on the show, and you can ask your question or tell your story. So without further ado, Jim, love to hear about, or maybe before you tell us about the process and how you got onto Amazon Live, maybe we can see a quick video, a quick intro into your show. What does it look like? What happens there? So maybe you can.
Yeah. So if you want to do the screen share, I'm going to start our last episode, so you'll kind of see how we start things out.
Yeah, let's just add that in there. I'll just put it right there. There we go. And we can switch to this layout here so it's a bit bigger. Yeah. And there we go. Love that intro. Yep.
It's about a minute.
So the intro is a whole lot of minutes.
Yep.
Wow. And I'm just going to adjust the volume on that thing. Let's see. Can I? It's going to be, interesting. I can't adjust the volume on the
young guys. This is awesome. I love gear, love talking all about it. So yeah.
I love this. Okay. How did you make that intro?
So Chris actually made the intro, my co-host, using, actually he's using Final Cut Pro, and then he uploads it into StreamYard. Right now we've been able to just play it in as a video overlay. So we're excited to see with the new process how that'll work for us as well. And then as you may have noticed, like the flashing of the unmute, we actually do that during the show. He's created a GIF, because what happens is we want people to unmute during the show, and we also want them to follow us. And so we'll also actually have a follow button as well. And so, because that's the goal, you want to get people to follow you, because then they'll get notified as well on by Amazon, theoretically, in on your phone, that what your favorite show is going live, in our case Dealcasters Live. So this is all being done within StreamYard just by using some of the if you want to call it the tools and the tricks of the trade. But Chris is really my go-to on that. He does that for a lot of other people. He created the intro also for the Tim and Jim show, and he's been hired by several other speakers to create, as we like to call it, sizzle reels. So we'll even adjust this sometimes based on our guest. Like he'll put together a short video that introduces our guest. We feel like this is more engaging than the countdown timer, because you also got to remember people are going to watch this on replay. So we want to get them excited. This is about the pattern interrupt as well. So that's a lot of what we do in regards to that. And I can kind of just fast forward to so you can see this is what we look like on the show set. This is actually when we're live. We've created we've got the layout there. We use the banners to give people instructions as well as what to do. And then you'll see underneath there is what we call the carousel. And so I can actually, as a viewer, I can see these are all the products we're going to talk about during the show. And then what happens is, as like right now in this show, we had this Garmin watch highlighted. If you were on that product page, this video when we were live was playing, saying live streaming now, talking about this product. So if people click on that video, it's going to bring them over to the live show page, and they're actually going to be able to interact with us. You don't see it now, but when the show's live, there's actually a chat off to the right that we're able to interact with people during the chat, and they can ask questions, they can follow us, they give us a notification if someone's followed us, so we'll give those people a shout out if they do follow us. And then they also, you get the statistics, how many of your views were unmuted versus muted, because ideally you want people to listen to what you're saying. So it's really it's like some people call this like kind of like home shopping network, QVC.
Yeah.
What we really have done, I guess, to be different is we've made this more of a show, and we just happen to sometimes be talking about products, but we interview authors, other live streamers, and talk about how they are succeeding in what they're doing. So it's just a lot of fun.
Awesome. I see somebody gave us like an angry face emoji in the like the emoji responses. I'm like, why? What did we do wrong? I'd love to know if you love the show, if you hate the show, whatever it is you feel about the show. If you think it's like, you could do better, just let us know, please. Don't just give us those like angry emojis. It's so frustrating to know. So, so we got a few questions already coming in here. I'm dying to find out, like what are the KPIs? How do you tie everything together? But let's just let the audience like make this more of a conversation. So the teacher is asking, right? How often do you do your show?
That's a great question. So one thing that Chris and I decided early on is we don't have like a set time that we go live. One thing we do, like we give potential guests a window of, and it's usually, it's actually 4 to 9 p.m. is our window. Because one of the things we thought about is that this is, Amazon is, nationwide, worldwide. And so we wanted to make sure we thought about West Coast people. And we also wanted to think about people's shopping habits. And so are a lot of people going to be shopping at 12 o'clock on a day like today, or 11 o'clock? Maybe a few people are right now, but we wanted to, kind of play around with the times. We've gone live sometimes too, like this show that I just showed you. That was a Saturday at 1 o'clock. We've gone live Saturdays at 3 o'clock, and we've had thousands of views on some of these shows, and even without really promoting it. Because here's what you got to think about, and Chris likes to use this analogy. So when you're driving down the road and you see, and say you see a telephone pole with a flyer for, pizza. You might not be hungry right now. You're not going to go and, get that pizza, or you might see a billboard. But when you're on Amazon, people are there at the mall. They're shopping. They're ready to buy. So you've got the interested party already there. So, even when we go live on other platforms, right? The truth is, we got to hope people come over here and watch this show. Maybe they schedule it, but it's not, depending on the platform, it's not necessarily their first priority to watch a show because they were there for some other reason, maybe originally. So with Amazon, you're already in the mall. You're like the kiosk guy or gal, and so they're already there waiting for you. So we, but then they have like big shopping days like Black Friday, like Prime Days. We went live 3 times on Black Friday, 3 different times for about 3 hours total. And in those 3 hours alone, we had over 50,000 viewers of our 3 shows and
50,000
hundreds,
in
50,000
3 hours.
in 3 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And we
Wow.
had over 800 people click a product in the carousel. Now, why is that important? In the world of Amazon, if you think about the Amazon affiliate program, you get a link, you can share it in your blog post or whatever, and you hope that maybe, or your show notes in your podcast, and you hope maybe somebody will click it and then you'll get, a small percentage. Well, those people that click on that now have just given you the Amazon cookie for 24 hours. So anything that they buy, you're going to get a percentage of, and it varies. It's anywhere from 1% up to 10% for luxury beauty. Of course, Chris and I joke we don't put makeup on, so we won't be selling any luxury beauty anytime soon. But we've sold tires. We talk a lot about the Amazon Fire Stick, and we've sold 60 Roku sticks, even though we've never talked about a Roku stick. So you get kind of that, you may guide somebody to do something and then they pick another product, well, you still get some credit for that. And so it's really like affiliate marketing on steroids. Uh, it's a lot of fun doing it because you're getting to do something we love to do, which is live stream.
Wait, did I get this correctly? You get 1% or above on anything they buy, anything your viewers buy, even if you didn't promote it?
Correct.
I'm going to repeat that. You get 1% plus on anything your viewers buy, even if you didn't promote it. That's insane. So so essentially you don't even have to promote anything in the show. You could just have like a fun show that people want to watch.
Right. Now, I mean, you definitely, well, you need to put stuff in the carousel because what it is they've got to click on a product. And then once they've clicked on that product, if they go to another product, it's like the cookie's there. So it's kind of like the stuff we put in our carousel, like you saw on the show, that's kind of the hook, right? Like, oh, let me check out this watch. Oh, I don't want to watch. I'm going to go buy a computer, or I'm going to go buy a tire.
Yeah.
And so it's, or even with books, right? They might buy a book and then they go, and that's where I think for us interviewing authors, like we interviewed, Mitch Jackson, we interviewed, Dave Jackson, actually the of podcasting, and Chris Kremitza is talking about their books. So it's kind of a win-win because if they're an Amazon book author, people buy their book watching the show. Well, they're getting a book sale and we're getting, a small, percentage. And it's not like Amazon's charging anything more. You're just sharing in the Amazon pie, as because now that Jeff Bezos is moving on, but he's still going to be there. So thanks, Jeff, for letting us all have a piece of your very large pie.
Very large pie, indeed. Okay, so let's get into a bit of the nitty gritty here. How does one stream to Amazon? How does one get on Amazon Live in the first place? Like, let's start there.
Yeah, so you've got to apply to the what they call the Amazon Live Influencer Program, and so you start out. You can search on Amazon and for the Associates Program. Once you get in there, then you can apply for the Live Influencer Program. And I will say that our StreamYard friend Ross Brand put together a great YouTube video on that process. So make sure you check out Ross Brand's YouTube channel because that's how I did. I watched his video and literally within less than an hour, I was approved. Now they're going to look at your social platforms though. So don't think you just automatically are going to get it. And they look at, you got 4 choices. You've got Twitter, you've got YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, but it's really your Facebook business page or a public group that you have to apply with there. Twitter and YouTube, you'll get an instant decision. And so I used my Twitter account because I had over 9,000 Twitter followers at the time that I applied, and I got approved right away. And then that gives you a storefront. So I actually have an Amazon storefront. It's Amazon.com/shop/ FUHSION MKTG, and I'm actually able to put list of things that I call them idea lists, like my favorite books, starter podcasting kits. You can also upload videos and shoppable photos. So if people even go to your storefront and click on that stuff, it's another way for you to generate revenue as well. And then all your shows are stored in your storefront as well. So you could go back and watch the very first episode we did. You can go back and watch episodes we've done with other people. So once you get that approval process, now you're an influencer. Well, now to do Amazon Live, there is a catch. You have to have an iPhone or an iPad because it's an iOS device. In fact, what I'm going to do, Daniel, is I'm going to show everyone how that works. So here we have the Amazon Live Creator app. So I go in this app, and then I hit this little plus sign, and this is where the magic happens. You have to add a thumbnail image, and I'll just do this. We won't actually go live, and like this is the one we did with, here we had Mark Deal, and then I add my product. So if these are my idea lists that I already have, so you have to add at least one product. So we'll just put this out here. I add it to my stream. So now that show has got the stream. I put in a title. I'm just going to call this test because I'm going to delete this anyway. That's my show title. I can pick my start time, so I can schedule it. And if I schedule it, you'll see, like I had shown earlier when I showed you the live, that's got all the ones that are either live or coming up. So if we said, tomorrow at 11 a.m., and then we save it, and then the video source, this is where I pick external camera. That URL and stream key now give me an RTMP code that I am able to build that destination in StreamYard. So I save it. Then we can go to preview the show. So this is where at the bottom you'll see I have that product. All my products will be there. So this is where I will manage the show during the actual live, and I'm able to comment with the viewers in here, and they'll see my comments will pop up on screen. This is where I change the products. I can also go back while the show is live and actually add things in real time. I could even search, like if I wanted to search for the ATEM Mini Pro, which I know that you're using.
Yes, I am.
I could say, okay, I'm going to add this one here, right? And so now it's also in the carousel. So what happens is if we're talking to someone during the show and they're like, hey, I'm looking for a monitor, Chris or I will maybe go do some research, see if we can find a monitor that we like or that's on sale, and then we'll just add it in to the show while it's live. It'll pop up in that carousel, and the person could actually get the monitor right while the show is going on. And so it's then the other thing too, right? I can then share the show in advance. It gives me the link that I can then put on social media. They'll also let me download it after the fact. And so you can see, right, there's my upcoming stream. And then I can also add promotional codes that they provide to people as well. And of course, if I just decide I don't want to do the show, I just hit the delete up here at the top, and the live stream is deleted. So it's really that simple to get started in the app, but it's all got to be done through the app. You could come out of the app, so that's why, to me, you could actually go live off your phone, but why wouldn't you want to use an amazing product like StreamYard? Because it just really just makes life that much simpler for us to have, high quality production, especially if you're going to have guests, or the fact that since Chris and I co-host the show, the other thing we do is we're both logged in to my StreamYard account. So he's able to help me produce the show at the same time, similar to what you're doing with Joanne. And so if I had to do something, right, he can continue to manage things as far as, graphics and banners and things of that nature. We'll actually too, we multi-stream the show to Twitter right now using Periscope, because we want to build that awareness. And we still want people to come over here to Amazon, but we want people to know what's going on with the show. So that's kind of, it really is, to me, it's very simple to run. Probably the hardest part is getting approved and coming up with a strategy to, get people interested in what you're doing. Because you'll go out there and you'll see that there's some really bad shows, things that will make you be like, wow, that's painful. But that's why Chris and I are on a little bit of a mission, and I would encourage some of the StreamYard community. If you're, here's the thing. If you already review products, like say you're on a YouTube channel or whatever, but you're struggling to get to that 1,000 subscribers, well, you're talking about, you've got instant monetization if you're on Amazon. I don't have to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. We're getting paid by Amazon right now by going live on Amazon. Not to say that we're not still trying to build YouTube channels, but I think, as we all know, it's kind of a longer journey to get there.
Right.
So that's why I think you can really do both. And some of the people that are on Amazon Live, there's one guy, he's called the Deal Guy. He's got a ton of YouTube viewers, but he's on here every day doing Amazon Live. So you got some people, they're on here every day. There's no doubt in my mind that some of these people that are on here every day are doing quite well for themselves, because it goes back to, people are interested. They're in the mall. They're already here shopping. You're not having to convince them, hey, come over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. The other thing is, Amazon really wants you to promote your stuff. So they're fine with you taking post-production, this stuff, and cutting it up. We use lately AI to do that, and we'll put clips, and then we'll take people to come back and watch the original show, because you can still get people to watch the replays and still get credit even on the replays. So, I mean, if you went and watched our show with Jennifer Watson from July of last year, where we talked about products you might want to have if there was a storm, you could still go shop those products.
Brilliant idea. It just shows you could find an excuse to like promote anything. And I think it also is a word of caution for anybody watching these Amazon shows. The incentive is to push for the shows to push the higher priced products, right? Although it's again, you get paid no matter what they buy. So as long as they end up buying something.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, though, Daniel, because we've actually too. Here's the other thing: because we're on this platform, we're starting to get approached by companies that sell products, because they want us to talk about their products on the show. Well,
free goodies.
So Chris and I, though, take the perspective of, we're not going to promote something that we haven't tried or that we don't believe in. So it's kind of like, well, send us your product. If we like it, we'll talk about it. But if not, we're just not going to do that, because that's not our, if you want to call it, our way of doing things.
Right.
And then with the show itself, we really want to focus on helping people in their live streaming podcasting journey, and just tech in general. We're geeks. We like to talk about, I've got, and I have her muted, I have an Amazon Echo. I bought a couple of these Blink cameras, and so we'll show people, like, I can sit there and talk to my Echo and say, hey, show me my front door camera, and it will. And we'll show people that, look, it actually works.
Wow.
Where you can see what's going on. So we're not only just talking about this stuff, but we're doing demonstrations of how some of these things can help your life. Because if you think about it, I mean, that's probably the benefit you're giving to the Amazon viewer. Is it's like, do I really want this thing? Well, if that thing you're talking about, that video is popping up, it's like they're actually able to talk to someone who maybe has experience with it. So even if it's and sometimes we'll tell people, because there is a creator community that's been growing, and we'll say things like, hey, we use StreamYard because it's easy to use. We're able to do all these things, and then as like, even with what we showed earlier, it's not always the fact that you've got to have the ability to think outside the box. So I mean, a lot of times people's like, oh, well, I want to do this and that with graphics and StreamYard, but they're not giving it to me. It's there. You just have to think about, how do I get this stuff in? And just like earlier, I was actually using a virtual cam with ecamm to show my phone in StreamYard. So it's like there are definitely products out there. Some of it is you got to be willing to make the investment and take the time to learn it.
Yeah, we'll talk about peripheral tech in just a moment. I wanted to address a couple of questions here. So
Sure.
Letitia is asking about, how do the viewers find you on Amazon? Or I guess, basically anybody shopping lately has probably seen videos in their feed, desktop or phone, and it's getting more and more discoverable now. But do you know anything about the algorithm of how your show is promoted? Like, are there any tricks in terms of content or production that you take in order to become more visible and gain more viewers?
Yeah. So what we've done is as the show is evolving, we have kind of created, if you want to call it, a flywheel. We have a LinkedIn company page. We have an Instagram account. We have a Twitter account. We've now put a Facebook page out. We bought the domain name dealcasters.live to specifically create a redirect, because just like a lot of things, the actual link for that show is like a long code with Amazon, and so we wanted to make it simple. We say, just go to dealcasters.live and you'll find our show, as opposed to saying, well, here's the specific show. But now, on a specific show itself, we can share that on Twitter, and if people click it, it'll take them to that show, in advance, so they can then follow us. And then if you follow people, or if people follow us, they get notified by Amazon when we go live. That's not 100% yet, but that's their goal. They now want us to get followers in their platform. The interesting thing is that about 2/3 of our viewers are on desktop, because one of the things you get out of Amazon is we get these reports that we're able to download. It shows us what's been bought, what's been shipped, because you don't get credit till something's shipped. And then there's still a 60-day delay, because they give people time to return the items before they pay you commissions. But it also tell you the source, right? Was it a desktop? Was it a tablet? Was an iPhone, or I should say? So anywhere somebody can watch Amazon, shopping. And here's another funny thing. If you have a Fire Stick or a Fire TV, the Amazon shopping app can be downloaded. You can actually watch Amazon Live on TV through the Amazon shopping app on the Fire Stick, to include people being able to purchase the items that you're talking about while they're doing it. So it's kind of funny to see yourself. I go watch myself on TV sometimes in 55 inches, and that's when I say I need a new camera, because it doesn't look as good as it does on the computer screen when it gets that. Because another tech thing is, you can't go stronger than 720p on Amazon right now. So if you try to go at 1080, it won't transmit, because the bit rate's not right. So still at 720. Yeah.
Still at 720. So you don't even need a StreamYard Pro account to go. You could use a StreamYard Basic account to do this. That's amazing.
That's a great point.
That's like stunning value right there. Let's kind of change tempo here a bit and get into something a bit more visual. I want to talk about what peripheral tech is. Everybody loves to see, okay, what is your behind the scenes? And we've had people here from everything from a Chromebook only all the way to like 3 ATMs. I think there were 2 ATM.
Wow.
One an ATM Pro ISO and one ATM, just an ATM Mini. And plus like 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 50 monitors, all kinds of lighting. Who knows how many lights some people have. Crazy stuff. So let's see your setup. Let's put it on screen right now and see what that looks like. So we're going to actually see the same view of where you're standing now, but from behind you. So let's take a look at that here. So this is it.
Yes. So you can see, and it's off, and I've turned it off for a reason. I have a Neewer ring light up there in the upper left. But what I found is it was giving me too much light. It was really washing me out. Now they're not in the frame, but I have 2 Viltrex LED lights, one on each side, to kind of bring that light in and give me a little, tone. And then you can see that the microphone that's sticking out there, that's my Samson Q2U, which is actually running into, and you can barely see it to the left of the coffee cup. I have a Focusrite, a Scarlett 2i2, which is my audio interface. And that runs into, this is my iMac. It's it's actually a 2015, right? So it's not even one of the newest ones. Got a Logitech StreamCam, which will actually let you do vertical video. I haven't tried that yet, but theoretically it'll let you do that. And then I went to a second monitor because, as some of you may or may not know, when you try to share a PowerPoint on the same monitor that you're using a lot of these live streams, it'll take it over. So I've got this Lenovo 28-inch 4K monitor, and this actually has the ability to go on a mount, because my future step is going to be, I'm going to put a mount on the desktop so that this monitor will probably be above the other monitor and give me more space. And then I've got my MacBook Pro as well. And then down below this, if you see the white cord, I have it's actually Dell, and this even works with the Macs. It's a docking station, and it has an HDMI input. It also has 5 USB-A inputs. And so I'm able to connect my iPad and my iPhone hardwired into that if I want to bring them in as additional cameras into some of my productions. So that's where I'm at right now. And then eventually these yellow walls are going to turn into, I'm going to buy, some of these people, I don't know if you've heard this, Daniel, you can buy flooring, laminate flooring, and you can staple it to the wall, and it's a lot cheaper than, say, buying, paneling. And then what that'll allow me to do is, over here on the microphone side, I'm going to set up a second camera so I can be cool like you and actually switch my views and look at people in a different thing. Because a lot of it, right, it's about that pattern interrupt and getting, changing things around for your audience to catch people's attention.
So speaking of changing things around and pattern interrupt, which I haven't been doing enough of this show, I must say, I'm going to share my my desk just to compare, and I wanted to show something specific this time. So this is my messy cable management here, like really really bad, but could be worse, right? I've got my simple stuff. Frankly, I don't need most of it. A lot of it is just it just saves time on little things, right? So I have like a shortcut buttons here sometimes. I don't need it, but it's nice to have, right? I have my ecamm mini, which I use to switch to cameras. I frankly don't need that either since I use StreamYard. But is it easier to do this? It's somehow it's nice that there's two buttons here, right? It's just kind of conceptually it works. Now, one thing I wanted to point out is this device here, which is a very simple device. These cost about like $20 to $60 on Amazon, and this is a USB hub. So it's that simple. It's a powered USB hub. So you've got when you're going to add multiple devices, cameras, monitors, little things, microphones, right? I've got my mic here. And then on top of that, your charger for the phone and your earpods are like lots of little things. I don't even know what's going on here, right? I've got lots of different things, Stream Deck. So you need a powered source. Otherwise, things don't get enough power and they start working funky. So you need a powered USB. Now, the standards have gone up from USB-A to USB-A 2 to USB-A 3. And the difference, you can't see from this angle of the camera, but the difference is really the color. Oops, let me just get this camera here working the right angle. Here we go. It's in the color. So if you look right in the USB right there, you will see, let's see if I can get this close enough here. Let's do that. Yeah, you see, this one is yellow. Right? I don't even know what the yellow is a small charger. So there's yellow, there's black, and there's blue. Blue is the 3rd generation. It's USB 3. So you want to notice if your device is a USB-A 3rd generation, you want to have a hub that supports 3rd generation. And the way to know it is to simply look at the plug and see the color, just match the color. So blue to blue, etc. Some of them will work on a lower generation, but they might not work as well. Some of them need the higher compatibility. So just little thing like that, simple, cheap device, get it, to the highest, match your standard that you want. So lots of times these kind of things, the third generation is faster speeds, and so on. So it'll reduce lag time, issues of that sort.
Right.
So that was a little tip right there.
And I think that's a great tip. And I would also recommend, if people can, I think you're smart to have the powered hub, because you don't always think about it. If you don't have the powered hub, your devices may not work as well if it's one that's trying to maybe generate power off the computer. So I think that was one of the things I found with the Dell, because it's also powered, that definitely makes it easier. And I know there's a couple jokes about the notes I have on there. I don't have a Wi-Fi password because I'm hardwired with fiber into my iMac, which is you can barely see. There's a gray cord that's kind of hanging from the ceiling because it's coming from my router upstairs. But
wait, so you're powered with fiber?
My internet is on fiber. Yeah.
Oh, your internet's on fiber, but then it's just a regular LAN inside. Yeah. Yep. And another thing to note here, and I wanted to share my personal story here, is that I used to work on Wi-Fi. I have a 1 gigabit Wi-Fi here, but the one place in the house I didn't have a hardwired LAN cable is in the office, the room we use as an office. And so I'd work off the Wi-Fi and even set priority device. And whenever I do speed test, it will always show great speeds, but somehow my quality on screen, and those of you who have been with us for a while, with the show for a while, will attest, I've had my issues of quality here. And it was Leo Mendel who said, you got to move on to like hardwire. It's all about the Wi-Fi. And I said, but my speed test is great. It can't be that. He said, nope, just you plug it in. So I got an electrician in, we got the wire into a nice little plug here, and I plugged it into my Mac, and just like that, everything went well, except 2 weeks ago when there was the big blackout in the Northeast, and that was a mess of a show where I couldn't join in, but I had to leave it. But yeah, huge difference in quality. You don't even need to have such a high speed internet. It just needs to, but it's just a totally different quality when you're plugged in directly through cable. Makes a big difference. So for those of you using Wi-Fi, my experience is, go, plug in. I highly recommend doing it.
Absolutely.
You got some nice. I got to show this. I got to show this. Where did it go? Comments have already scrolled through. Where is this? Okay, guys, if you want to join in with a question, join in. You want to join in live? Yeah. Join us. bit.ly/The Yard. And we've had a bunch of guests on the show in the past come in, share their stories, ask their questions. You're welcome to do that. We can also just ask in the comments, but it's nicer to have you here with us and ask the questions. Okay, ton of side conversations going. I love that. I love seeing those conversations. That's what these shows are all about. We want it's all about getting conversations going, and we just happen to be here to facilitate those conversations for you. So glad to do that. Donald is asking, do you also use OBS or
I use right now I use ecamm as a virtual cam. I will say there are some limitations with that. I mean, that's where I think like the benefit of StreamYard is you can co-produce a show. With ecamm, you can't do that. So it's more if I want to have an effect in my camera window, that's what I'll use the virtual cam for. Another product people can use as well is Prezi. Works great with StreamYard. I know there's some other stuff, but it's all in how creative you want to get. But I find that to be, I've never just wanted to take the time to learn OBS. I'd rather use a product that's kind of, easy to use out of the box. I think that's, some of the beauty of StreamYard as well, right? It's easy.
Right.
I don't want to have to figure all these things out.
For all of you who are not familiar with StreamYard is the only tool you need. All the other tools are tools you might want, right? So when you've kind of maxed out on StreamYard and you say, okay, these layouts are are kind of enough for me. I don't need more than, I want more. I want to be really creative. I want to invest a lot of time and effort and do something very custom. Some people want that, and that's completely fine. Then you might want to add peripheral tools to it. So, for instance, I have a show with my friend Chad E. Peterson. We have a show called Subpellucid every Tuesday night.
Great show, by the way. You guys got to watch
Thanks. It's an acquired taste. It's kind of a cult classic, I call it, and it has a certain cult following to it. But it's a show that's very creative. And Chad creates very custom layouts in OBS. He puts a lot of time and effort into it, and God rest his soul, he puts a ton of work into it. He does an amazing job at it. Something you could never do in StreamYard or any software. He puts, you have to go to something like very, very customizable like that. He spends probably a few hours every show putting it together, and we use StreamYard to multicast from there. So easy enough to do the second part. The first part, he puts a lot of work into it. Right. We have a few asks here. Let's see. Manas is asking, can we use OBS scene as an animation overlay? Oh wow, you're Manas, you're approaching this from the backward, and I think I'll let you, Jim. I'll let you answer that. I think you have to flip it around, right?
Right. I mean, and that's what I mean. You guys do a lot of that stuff with your show, where you're just getting very creative with how you want things to look, but you're still using StreamYard as the way to go. Because here's the other thing. With StreamYard, like with the premium or the pro plan, I guess it's the pro plan, you can go up to 8 destinations. Of course, sometimes I'm like, getting beyond 4, you're asking yourself, why am I going beyond 4? But you can.
Right.
It's there if you want it to. So I think
there's one reason. Let me just hop in there and say there's one reason to do it, which we didn't do today, and I'm kind of upset about, which is you can add your guests' destinations as well. Right. So what we didn't do today, and we should have, is I should have asked Jim, hey, can you?
Well, you guys did, but I was okay with it just being on yours. If you had really wanted me to, because I wanted, I just want to get the download, and then I can repurpose it for, because I want you guys to get the viewers as well. So no, it's all good. But that's a good point. You can add other people's destinations.
Right.
Yeah.
So you can cross promote. So your own brand. And then say your guest has a large audience and influence, ask them to add their destination. They have to log in with your login for now. That's going to change soon, but then they can add their destination, and now you've just doubled or tripled or maybe 10x your audience, your reach, right? So that's great. There are definitely people who have more than one YouTube channel, and for some reason want to have multiple streamings and multiple channels. I'm not 100% sure why that is, but they're definitely, we've seen that from within our user base. Some comments here. Great. Awesome. Thanks everybody for the kind words about StreamYard. Appreciate it. There was a couple of more asks there that kind of disappeared in the feed. So if we didn't answer your questions, please do ask them again. We'll make sure to ask them. So Manas, so let's go back to Manas's question about OBS scenes as animation overlays. So I guess, is there a way to export the scene from OBS as an animated GIF somehow? So you're able to upload that overlay into StreamYard?
We're using GIFs in the Amazon show, and Chris, I know Chris is watching. I don't know, Chris, maybe if Chris, I don't know, he's probably not feeling up to jumping on. I know he's been a little under the weather, but he's created some GIFs that allow it to overlay and still allow people to see us, and that's been more of almost like a transparency. But Chris, if you're still there, maybe you can type in to talk about how you're doing the animation, if you want to call it overlay, in there. Because like I said, he's really the more technical guy. I'm the I don't know what I am. I'm the beauty and he's the brains, right?
Well, if you say so.
Yeah, that's why we're not selling makeup.
Yes, although makeup is a topic, I have to say I use makeup for my show. I just use a bit of powder to reduce glare. There are a lot of people. I don't spend too much time on it. I just put a tiny bit on, but there are a lot of people who use makeup, and a lot of men who use makeup as well for live shows. So if you're into live shows and there's no, and you should be looking into makeup. There are issues of lighting that make your face look very uniform, doesn't give dimension to your face. You really should think about adding a bit of that. So makeup is definitely something that anybody can and should be using in different circumstances. Yeah, Letitia uses translucent powder to avoid shine. That's exactly what I do. Yeah, my wife got me some, and I'm like, oh, great! Now I know. So I simply didn't know, and so I'll be doing more of these kind of things in the future.
Yeah, there's Chris's response. Yeah. Yeah. And so that's the biggest issue is the file size. I think sometimes he uses Handbrake to reduce the file size even more. Of course, we are Mac users. Sorry for your Windows users. We are researching into some alternatives on Windows, but since most of what we do is on there, we don't do it that way.
Yeah, and got Final Cut Pro size. Yeah, and I just added an overlay here, which I don't often do, but you can see how easy it is to do it, right? And I've seen people do all kinds of interesting overlays that kind of give a nice branded look and experience. And I love the way in your show you made it look very busy in a good way. Mm-hmm. And I think that's part of, and when I was researching a bit of Amazon Lives for my presentation that I was giving about different use cases for going live, I really was struck by the fact that they were always very busy. There's lots and lots of, comments and overlays and and constant visual change in this. There seems to be like one should have no shame in doing as much as possible in Amazon. And you really did it in a nice way, I must say. We're getting close to the end of our show. So I'm just going to call out to everybody, use the hashtag LoveStreamYard, and Jim will pick a winner for our coffee mug. Yeah. So we got a nice big StreamYard coffee mug. It's oversized, so it lasts you for the entire show.
And it's very sturdy. Let me tell you. I mean, these things are amazing.
This is good. We see a bunch of comments in there. Yeah, keep them coming. And and if this is the chance to win a mug. People love these mugs. And if you do win a mug, post a little photo of it somewhere out there. I also wanted to give another shout out to Joanne Watt, our marketing coordinator, who's behind the scenes today coordinating the show. So that's awesome. That was a big help, actually. In my personal experience, this is my first time on the show co-host or working together with somebody to produce it. And it made a huge help, I think, in terms of my quality of presentation and my quality of engagement with the show content. Normally, I'm very busy behind the scenes, and I can barely listen. And it takes to what my guest is saying, and I just have to kind of like figure out, kind of guesstimate what's going on in the show itself, and be able to kind of manage the show rather than just be in it. And today, thanks to Joanne, I was able to really participate fully in the show and listen and learn and engage, and I really enjoyed it. So thank you, Jim. This was amazing content. Mind-blowing, as some people said here in the comments, and super, super useful. Really, really appreciated it. It was also awesome to see your live setup, which I love sharing. Again, everybody, Jim has 2 laptops here, a bunch of different tech. I have a bunch of tech here, as I showed you. So, camera's facing the wrong way. I have a bunch of different tech, and you don't need all of that. It's fun. It makes your show better, but it's really going the extra mile. And I think.
And that's been a journey, right? I started doing this in 2018, and literally that second monitor was like 2 weeks ago. So if you're getting started, I mean, I love the fact that even now with StreamYard, right? You could use your iPad, you could use your phone. I don't know if it works on other tablets, but stop making excuses, people, if you haven't started yet. Go live.
Right. Awesome. And today we got an amazing reason to go live, or at least add another destination to Amazon, because you instantly make money, and it's just amazing. It's just an amazing opportunity that very few of us knew about and knew how well how worthwhile it is doing. So do that. Super easy to do with StreamYard. I would guess it's very difficult to do on your phone properly, and it's much easier to do on a computer with StreamYard, and definitely even better, easier to make quality content in a stream. Very good. Okay, why don't you pick a winner for us today?
Pick a winner.
From just scroll through the comments and pick somebody who said love StreamYard, and let's go for it.
Let's see here. Let's go with we'll go with Dragon Value Home, because I like dragons. I watched Game of Thrones, so Dragon Value Home for the win.
Awesome. Dragon Value Home. Appreciate it. This is awesome. Appreciate it. If you've already won a mug before, I don't think you have in our show. So if you've already won a mug, just let us know. But email marketing@streamyard.com with your address, and we'll ship it out to you wherever you may be. And if you've already won one, just let us know. We'll take care of it. But I think it's the first time I've seen you win, so that's great. And for everybody else who didn't win a mug today, thank you for participating in the show. I hope you won some great content from Jim. Let's just put the banner in here one last time with your show name, dealcasters.live. And for those of you who are interested, Jim is available to hire to produce shows. He is part of our producer network. And you can go to our site, and if you're logged into StreamYard, just go on the top right under My Account. You'll find resources or producer resources, and there'll be a list of producers there that you can download. There's a whole PDF with them. Jim is in there, so give him a shout out and say you met him on the show if you do. I think that's the end of our show for today.
That's been a lot of fun. Thanks, Daniel. Maybe if you'd like to be on Amazon Live, we can have you on sometime. We can talk tech.
I would be delighted to. Yeah, that'd be cool, and I'd love to experience that.
We'll do that.
So thanks, everybody, for joining in. Thanks, Jim. Any last words before we say goodbye?
No, this has just been great. I will make sure. I saw there were a lot of questions in the chat. So for those of you that ask questions, I'll make sure to go out there and answer them for you, or just connect with me on LinkedIn as well. Happy to talk to people about Amazon Live if they've got more questions as well.
Phenomenal. See you all next week at Tech Talk with another show where we'll have another guest talking on other tech issues. Bye, everyone.